This lesson is over multiplying decimals. So in our number routine, it's over number lines. Name a decimal that lies between these two fractions on the number line. We have 1 and 3/4 and 1 and 9/10. 1 and 9/10. That sounds like a place value. So I previously wrote 1 and 9/10. Now we have this mixed number 1 and 3/4. A mixed number is this whole number added to a fraction. That's why I wrote 1 plus 3/4. I need to find the decimal equivalency of 3/4. Two ways of doing it. Do you like working with place value? Can 4 go into 100 times 25? So if I multiply 3 and 4 by 25, I get 75 hundredths. So 1 plus 75 hundredths is 1 and 75 hundredths as a decimal. However, some people may prefer doing division. 3 divided into 4 groups. So if I have 3, I'm dividing it into 4 groups. Can 4 go into a 3? 0 times. How do I get rid of this 3 without changing its value of this 3? I put a decimal 0. I bring down the 0. How many groups of 4 go into 30? 7 groups. So 30 minus 28 is 2. And I need to get rid of the 0, so I add another 0. So I need to get rid of this 2, so I add another 0. How many groups of 4 go into 20? 5 groups. So there is the 75 hundredths. So let's answer this. Name a decimal that lies between these. So what's between 1 and 75 hundred and 1 and 9/10? What about 1 and 8/10? If I affix a 0 to this 1 and 9/10, that's 1 and 90 hundredths. So what about 1 and 78 hundredths? I could work with thousands and say 1 and 781 thousandths. So in our next activity, students will be given a card. Brainstorming, they will think, is the card without work mentally using number sense. Is it more than 1, equal to 1, or less than 1? So if I look at this example, it says I multiply the hundreds times the hundreds. That means I know the answer is going to be the 10,000th place. And I know the answer is going to be really tiny because you're almost like multiplying 0 by 0. So I predict this would be less than 1. Brainstorm. 1 and 3/10 times 29. If I estimate 1 and 3/10, it's like 1 times 29, that's 29. Way more than 1. 1 and 3/10 times 2 and 9/10, that's 1 times 3 is 3. I predict that's more than 1. What about 13 times 29 hundredths? So you're taking from the 13 parts of it. I know the answer is going to be in the hundredths place. I predict it's going to be more than 1. Because you're taking, it's like taking 29%. You're just taking, for every 1 whole, it's just 29. So you do 29 plus 29. So it's 13 groups of 29 cents. Or 13 groups of 29 hundredths. So that's going to be 29 plus 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 29, more than 1. All right, so in our do now, Iona's favorite peaches are $2.50 per pound at the local farmers market. She bought 3 and 5/10 pound. How much did she spend? So 2 ways of doing this. Do you like lining up the decimal? Well, if so, you need to affix a 0 here. Or do you prefer just pretending it's just like whole numbers? 2.5 times 2 and 5/10, I took off the 0, it doesn't change its value, times 3 and 5/10. Which one do you prefer? Notice how this one, it will be in the hundredths place. I made a decimal twice. Since I affixed a 0, this will be in the 10,000ths place. So let's start with it. 0, 0, 0. I am done with the 1s, so that means I need to put a placeholder in the 1s. So now I'm in the 10s. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 3 is 15 plus 2 is 17. I am done with the 10s. Now I need to put two placeholders. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So it adds up to 0, 0, 5, 7, and 8. This is 4 digits behind a decimal point. So I need to move it 4 digits. So $8.75. Notice, you might say, but what's about 0? At the grocery store or the farmer market, they're not going to say, you owe us 8 and 7,510 thousandths. They'll just say $8.75, ma'am, or to Iona. What if you prefer this way? 5 times 5 is 25, carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 2 is 12. Don't forget the placeholder. So I cross out the 5, so I'm in my tens. 5 times 3 is 15. I carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. I added up 5, 7, 8. There are 2 digits behind the decimal point, so I jump it twice. 875. I could have done it by this, rounded, about 2 and 5/10, about 3 times 4 is 12, or you can even say 2 times 3 is 6, which is close to 8. Does not make sense to put decimal point in any other different location. So again, we just practice on how to multiply decimals. So if you had to multiply 21 and 5/10 times 23 hundredths, again, 2 trains of thought. What do you prefer? Do you prefer lining up the decimal? If so, you need to affix a 0. Or do you just prefer just multiplying just regular whole numbers and then you stick the decimal point? Does not matter. You'll still get the exact same answer. If you prefer this way, that'd be 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. I'm done with the ones place, so I put a placeholder because I'm about to start tens. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. 2 times 2 is 4. It is time now to add it up. I get 0, I get 5, I get 4. 6 plus 3 is 9, and I get 4. So, how many digits are behind the decimal point? 4 digits, so I need to move 4 digits. Right there. Again, I prefer this way. Like it's, say, I don't think so. Hundreds times hundreds, the answer has to be in the 10,000ths place. Tens, 100,000, 10,000. And let's think, think about it. If I estimate, you have 22 groups of 23 cents or 20 cents. So if you add 20 cents 20 times, that's going to be $4-ish. So that's why it's $4.94. So again, maybe you prefer this way. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. I cross out the 3 and put a 0 as my placeholder because I'm starting the tens place. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. And 2 times 2 is 4. If I add this up, I get 5, 4, 9, 4. There are 3 digits behind the decimal point. Tenths times 100, thousandths place. Tens, 100,000. That is the answer. And so students will be doing a stations. There'll be 4 stations. Currency conversion. Did you know when you go to different countries, you must convert it into their currency? For example, I just came back from Canada. It was $1.31 Canadian dollar for every American dollar. So if I gave them 2 American dollars, I got 131 times 2 is about $2.62. So I felt rich. I had like so much money. Different countries, I think in Mexico, $1 American is almost $19 Mexican peso. So you get a lot of things. But don't, before you say, oh my God, I'm so rich, things are more expensive over there. It makes up the fact. Then we have Miss Michael's purchases, and that one you'll be doing reading through these questions. It's multi-step questions, and you must solve it. Or decimal multiplication puzzle. In this one, you'll be getting a puzzle, and you try to manipulate the numbers, the number tiles, so it fit the pattern. Or a quilt puzzle, you'll be cutting out these rectangles and matching the multiplication problem with this product until it makes a quilt. And this is multiplying decimal.